come back. Now that it's a little bit stiff, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the cylinder out, okay? Leaving the newspaper in as it acts as an armature, okay? So what I can do is I can take that newspaper and kind of push it up into, very carefully, into my cylinder. This is, I put a little bit too thick newspaper there. So a good idea is to make sure that you don't use too much newspaper. One piece is probably enough. Make sure that your cylinder is nice and round, and then you're gonna set it here. And I'm gonna mark it all the way around like this. Okay, then I'm gonna cut it. If you can find a cylinder that is the same size as your bottom, that way you can make sure that you get a nice circle. Then I'm gonna go ahead and score that. I'm gonna score my bottom. Paint it with some Okay, so when you're making a cup, there are 3 parts to a cup. The top part is called the lip, the middle part is called the body, and the bottom is called the foot, okay? A lot of times when you're making something, the foot of something is very, very important. Even if you notice this container, the bottom of it comes and it kind of curves in. Do you see how nice and curved that is? So that when it sits on the table, it kind of radiates out. If you look at your water bottles, if you look at the spray bottles, if you look at any of the bottles, all of the bottoms have been dealt with, and that's very important. Okay, so after you get that up, you might want to take it, and then you might take a sponge and make sure that it's nice and rounded at the edges, okay? To put a handle on, let me just show you that. So let's say that I just want to have a plain handle. I might take this, I like the kind of the way it tapers, that's kind of nice. So I'm gonna measure it first. I'll cut it right about there, okay? I might even want to make like a little decorative edge to it. Okay, now when you put a handle on, it doesn't go like this, okay? It goes kind of like an ear. You put it under and then you wrap it around like this. That's the proper way to put a handle on, and it makes it a little bit more secure that way too. Okay, so I could, and I like to do it even on the seam that I have so that I don't really see the seam either. I'm gonna score here and score here. Okay, another thing that you want to be careful of is not to have stray parts coming out, because, or things like the handle, you don't want it touching the ground because you might set the cup down and break the handle. Okay, so you always have to think, this is the first piece of pottery that we're doing that is meant to be used. And what do we call art that is meant to be used? Anybody? Isn't it functional? Okay, so then I'm gonna take a sponge and I'm gonna clean the whole cup up, making sure that this part, what is this part called? The lip. The lip should be round. When you drink out of a cup, you don't want these pointy edges. So you want to come in here and you want to really kind of round the edges up around it. You want to round this handle up, making sure that it's nice, nice and smooth. Okay.